Welcome back to the weekend wrap. No production, just my thoughts. As always, like and subscribe, share with a friend, a colleague, a relative, an associate, an enemy, and anyone in between. I appreciate it. Memberships are there. Apologies for anyone who was expecting a video yesterday. It was my intention to do one. Had some family stuff to deal with. I won't necessarily get into the details and bore anyone with that. But yeah, so I just basically wasn't around, so that had to sort of take a back seat. There is a chance I might end up doing one later on today, because there were some topics that I did want to speak about, but knowing me and knowing how my days run, I might just have to leave some stuff, or just put it into maybe an amalgamation video next week, at the start of the week, and then go for the rest of the week stuff moving forward. But let's talk about some of the action that took place, especially Friday. I mean, Friday was a bit of an interesting one. So on Channel 5, and I think it was DAZN across the world. I'm not sure what DAZN streams because it wasn't on my DAZN box. So I'm assuming it must have been like DAZN Italy or DAZN Spain that they were showing it. But you had the Channel 5 Wasserman card, which I think was headlined by, I think it was Lee McGregor versus Eric Robles. Harlem Eubank was on the undercard against an opponent who I don't remember off the top of my head. To be fair, I didn't really take much notice of the card itself. I guess the most, shall we say, shocking or surprising thing that happened was Matty Harris getting stopped. I won't say knocked out, because technically he didn't drop to the floor, wasn't, didn't look like he was severely hurt. I haven't seen the total fight. I've just seen a couple of images, a couple of photos, so I'm trying to trace that down to see what basically took place. But it's funny actually, because I had a conversation with October Red about about a week ago now, and she was really high on sort of Matty and his ceiling. And I said, I think he's talented. I think he's got some, he's got some skills. I said, yeah, I thought he was very raw though. Needed, and there was some work that needed to be done. And then she did a podcast with him for her channel. Check out her channel if you haven't previously. But within some of the comments he was saying, I've watched most of the parts. I don't think I've watched part 6, but I've definitely seen parts 1 to 4. And I don't know, there was just a couple of times he made certain comments and certain inferences that gave me some sort of red flags, like not massive, not like deep red, but enough to okay, I wasn't really expecting that to come from your mouth as such a I guess a novice pro at this point in time. But I didn't expect him to get stopped by Dobishchenko either. Everyone knows that Dobishchenko is probably one of the most durable journeymen there is. Never been stopped. I don't think he'd ever been dropped before. He was dropped in this fight against Matty Harris in the second round, and I guess Matty started feeling himself, tried to step on the gas, and realized he didn't necessarily have the gas in the tank. So there's work that he can do, obviously, to work on his gas tank, work on maybe punch selection, not being as aggressive, not burning through as much energy as quickly. But there's definitely a long road to go, and I know he probably felt he was a lot closer to being, maybe not the finished article, but a lot closer to being like, that guy than maybe he really is. So there's some work and some introspection to do there. That being said, I didn't watch the Eubank fight. As I said, I had some family stuff to deal with. I did, however, watch the Lee McGregor and Eric Robles fight, and that was an entertaining fight. Robles was the clear and deserved winner as far as I was concerned, and the fact that he won in McGregor's hometown tells you that he deserved to win. He just basically outlanded McGregor. McGregor invested some really good work to the body from time to time, and you could see it really hurt Eric Robles. But yeah, Robles was just basically busier, sat in the pocket several times, and you know, McGregor round sort of 10, 11, 12 was really starting to flag. You could see him just starting to try and hug, hold and clinch to gain breath and stop momentum from time to time. So yeah, it was it was a highly entertaining fight, basically. Now, I had actually predicted that Robles would actually get a stoppage out, and I predicted it to be within the first half of the fight. So the fact that he even went the distance was, I guess, surprising for me a little bit. But yeah, right person won, and that was who I did predict to actually win that one. Now, if we move over to the top rank card that happened last night, I haven't seen all of the matches. Like, my skybox was playing up, so it didn't actually kick in until the Keyshawn Davis fight. I was really keen. I wanted to watch the Stephen Shaw fight, and there was a couple others that I was interested in, but I didn't get a chance to watch them. I've heard the results, but I don't really want to speak on too much until like I actually go back and see them. However, he had Keyshawn Davis against Patera, but I can't remember his first name. That fight was, I think that was his first 10 rounder and his 9th fight. The one thing I will say is Keyshawn obviously looked composed, looked fairly comfortable. Obviously he's still adapting as a pro, and he's putting in some good work. I wasn't in agreement with the scorecards. I think the two of them was 100 to 90, and then one was like, no, it was 100 to 89, sorry, because he did drop Patera, I think, in the 8th round, and then the other one was 99 to 90. I disagree. I definitely think he lost some rounds. I wasn't scoring it as such because I was tired at the time, but you know, when I was watching, I watched that fight, and there was clearly rounds to me that he lost on activity, and even punches, like punches thrown, punches landed, and there were significant punches as well that, you know, gave pause, made him have to reset, made him have to readjust, and to me he didn't win those rounds back. So I think it was, to me, it would have been closer to like a 97, 92. You know, maybe, you know, 98, 93. And sort of 97, 92 in my opinion. It was a little bit closer than the scorecards had. Obviously he was a clear victor, but you know, such as life. The right person won it overall, but I just feel that the scorecards didn't necessarily tell the story of the fight. And speaking of scorecards that don't tell the story of the fight, we've got to talk about the main event. Now obviously this is where all of the controversy is going to come from, and it was George Kambosos Jr. versus Maxi Hughes. And outright, there is no way to sort of dress it up, justify it, say it, you know, it was a close fight, blah blah blah. No, it wasn't actually that close at all. I had Maxi Hughes winning that fight 116, 113, and that's because I gave a swing round, no, I gave a even round, sorry, in the, I think it was the fifth round. I had it sort of 3 rounds to Maxi, 1 round to George Kambosos, and I think the 5th I gave was a split. It was either the 5th or the 4th. It was one of those two, but either way, like, yeah. And if I was going to swing it anyway, I would have swung it towards Maxi Hughes, so it would have been 116, 112. He won, to me, 8 rounds quite clearly in this fight. George Kambosos couldn't deal with the angles. He was trying to hunt Maxi. Maxi was sort of boxing well, boxing and moving. But the thing is, it's not like he was boxing and like running around the ring from corner to corner to corner. No, he was literally controlling the center of the ring. Almost all of his work was done in the center of the ring. Very rarely did he back up onto the ropes. Very rarely was he backed into a corner. More time than not, every time George Kambosos tried to initiate an attack, Maxi would actually counter punch him. He was jabbing over the top of George's jab, because George would not keep his jab hand up. He kept it low, which obviously meant he was getting picked over the top of that throughout the majority of the fight. Maxi Hughes was just comfortable, compact. Obviously split Kambosos' eye open with a punch. He got cut over his forehead, but it was from a clash of heads. Towards the back half of the fight, I had Kambosos obviously coming into it a bit more. So I think, now don't quote me on this exactly because I would have to check my scorecard, but I believe, so first round I gave to Maxi Hughes, second round I gave to Kambosos, third round I gave to Maxi Hughes, fourth round I gave to Maxi Hughes, fifth round I scored it even, sixth round I gave to Maxi Hughes, seventh round so that was at that point six, it was 1-5 and 1 even. Seventh round I gave to Maxi Hughes, eighth round I gave to Kambosos, ninth round I gave to Maxi Hughes, which made it 1-7 and 1-2-7 and 1 even. 10th round I gave to Kambosos. 11th round I think I gave to Kambosos, and the 12th round I gave to Maxi Hughes. So either way I had it worked out 116, 113. Yeah, like I said, Kambosos did better at the towards the back end of the fight, but he still didn't take over, didn't dominate, didn't land more shots in the majority of the rounds. He threw a lot of shots, but very few of them connected. He was getting, like I said, he was getting counter punched. All the clean work came from Maxi Hughes. For him to get robbed on the scorecards the way he did, I predicted that Kambosos would win via, I think I said either a split decision or a majority decision. I said it would be a very close fight. The fight wasn't close. So I should have been extremely wrong in my prediction, and the fact that I wasn't is really bad. And especially when you see that one of the judges had it scored 117, 111 to George Kambosos, so you say that he won 9 rounds. You can't find, I don't care how, so unless you literally wrote that scorecard before you even started watching the fight, I don't know how you find 9 rounds to give him. Because I struggled to say I could even find 5. And being absolutely generous, that's talking the closest of close rounds as well. 5 rounds is the most I could say that you give him. And even then it's like, oh, is it a split of a round? Is it a clear round to him? No, it's like 5 rounds at the absolute max. So the fact someone found another 4 rounds to give him is beyond crazy. I guess the scorecard with the least the least problematic scorecard was the 114 draw card, but even then there just wasn't 6 rounds to give him. I watched it initially, I've watched it back since. I need to watch it again to do the breakdown on Tuesday. I can't even find 6 rounds to give him, so it shouldn't even have been that. Like, if you're gonna give him 5 and say that he lost the fight 7-5, cool, but he lost that fight clearly. And anyone who wants to try and draw parallels to the Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko fight, it's nowhere near. Like, especially not if you're saying that Loma was, if funny enough, if this was that fight, Loma would actually be Kambosos and Devin would be Maxi Hughes, like winning the rounds, but then obviously there's a big salvo, I guess, that comes from the main guy, and it sort of sways your mind to think, oh no, but how dare he win when, the other guy, he came on, at the end he was the stronger one, the other guy was holding on, that's the sort of dynamic you're looking at. But even there, it's a false equivalent. I'm just trying to make sort of some kind of comparison to wrap the brain around it. But these are the kind of scorecards that we are getting consistently in these top ranked shows, and to the point even the commentators was mentioning, like, these cards always seem to be happening on these shows. Like they have to get called into question right now because it's crazy. Look, you get bad scorecards all over the place, so you can't just attribute it to one particular to one organization or one brand, but it's more often than not that it's a top ranked card where you see like egregious scorecards to the point where the B side, quote unquote, shouldn't even have turned up. You might as well have just forfeited the fight and then let them give you 120, 108 and just say, yeah, cool, we'll do it like that, because you put in all that hard work, you put in that hard graft, and then yeah, you just get shafted like that. It's a bit crazy. But look, it's not the first robbery, it won't be the last. I don't often use the word robbery. I can see when things are close. This just wasn't a close fight at all. The only good thing that does lead it is Maxi Hughes should hopefully get the Jack Catterall treatment for the next 5 to 6 months or however long until he actually gets to box again, whereby everyone knows that he was the winner of that fight, and hopefully that parlays into another big fight against someone else in the division. And I hope that he doesn't lose his rankings too badly. Like, you know, if he was, say for instance, he's number 3, 4 and 5 in the ranking, I hope he doesn't end up now down at number 10 or number 11 off of this loss, because I'm sure that if they have a look and they review it, you know, it was a poor performance by the judges. But yeah, I'll pretty much leave it there. There was a few other little bits of interesting information that came out, but like I said, I might save those for an actual episode. I might do a little roundup episode and just sort of give my takes on that. Monday, I may have to do a video for tomorrow, or even later on tonight, so kind of keep your eyes out for that one. Basis Picks is actually going to take place. I'm actually going to do it, I think, Monday night now, possibly to come out first thing Tuesday morning, because it will obviously have to take the Fulton and the New Way fight into consideration. So I might end up doing that tomorrow and releasing it then after Monday Night Smoke. And then yeah, there will be videos throughout the rest of the week. I am aiming to go to the Johnny Fisher public workout on Thursday, so we'll see if I manage to get down there, and if I do, we'll see if we get any nice little quotes, tidbits, some nice little bits of footage to bring back to the show. But for that, I will leave it there. I need to go and do a few other bits and pieces. Hope you've enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Give me your thoughts on some of the weekend's action if you did watch. And yeah, look out for videos tomorrow, and look out for me on the breakdown. I'll be there with Danny Glover this week, as Tony is flying over to Las Vegas to go to Crawford and Spence. So yeah, anyway, that's it for me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great one. Catch you next time. Peace.